All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Mike Broomhead Show. I'm Barry Markson filling in. Mike is back on Monday. He'll be here. Mike likes to be here when the legislature opens up, so that's when he'll be back in here. But joining us right now, live and in studio, is the county attorney, Rachel Mitchell, and thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me, Barry.
Glad to be here in the new year. So I'm glad you came in. There's a lot happening here locally, and I wanted to ask you some of the questions about this. And I want to start off with, I understand we just had a police officer that was just shot here in Phoenix. Do you have any information or updates on that?
We did. The officer's being transported, but I understand that he's in fair, good condition. And prayers go out to him and his family and fellow officers, who see a colleague injured. Yeah,
it's so dangerous, and I know we know that police officers put their life on the line for us every day, but we don't think about that all the time. But that's what happens, and you don't know when something like this is going to happen.
Right.
Do we have any additional information about what occurred yet?
We don't. I'm going to follow up on it as soon as I leave here with my office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rachel Mitchell with us, the county attorney in Maricopa County. So, hey, we have you here, and we've been talking a lot about this a lot on KTR, but the Gilbert goons, this pack of teenagers that in Gilbert and in Queen Creek that allegedly are just going around attacking other teenagers, just like a gang, and just beating the heck out of these folks, including one who died, Preston Lord, who was killed in Queen Creek. He was a 16-year-old. I know the Queen Creek police made a criminal referral to the county attorney's office. I understand it was 7 people, adults and minors.
Yes.
Do you have any sort of an update on that or charges pending? What do you think? What's happening?
Well, we are having it reviewed by 2 obviously very experienced homicide prosecutors. As you can imagine, with the number of people that were present at that location, it is a massive case. The police report alone is 1,800 pages.
Wow.
There's 600 videos that we have to sort through. And, as you can imagine, some show one piece of something and another shows another piece of something. And putting those together, as you know, as a lawyer, I mean, we have one chance to get it right, and we're going to get it right because this is awful.
Right. I mean, what happened obviously was awful, but you don't want to accuse somebody of something that isn't accurate. And I didn't realize that. So an 1,800-page police report.
Yes.
And have 600 different videos.
Yes, and then the picture with pictures and everything alone, the evidence number is like about 2,000.
Okay, so that's going to take a little while to get through.
It will take a while.
Okay.
Just like I said, we have one chance to do it right. And, we want to go in with the strongest possible prepared position so that this can be taken care of.
People have asked me, why did Queen Creek refer this to the county attorney's office to decide if charges would be made rather than arrest people and bring them in?
Well, you'd have to ask Queen Creek why they did that. I would be speculating, but it may be because of the complexity of the case to give us time to look at it.
I mean, normally when the police arrest or go do this investigation, the police just arrest somebody, then give it to the county attorney.
That's the typical process, is they arrest somebody and then they're booked, and then we have a short time to review it.
So you don't know why they did it this way instead?
No.
Okay. Rachel Mitchell is with us. She's the county attorney here in Maricopa County. Is there, and I know you're not the police department, you're the county attorney, but a lot of uproar right now that Queen Creek at least has done something and referred this to you, but Gilbert police don't seem to be, they are now, but they didn't seem to be reacting to this as much. Have you had any communication with the chief of police in Gilbert or in Queen Creek about these investigations and the status or what's happening? I know that's not normally something you would do, but this is such a big case.
Well, I mean, we've been communicating with Queen Creek, and then when we heard that this behavior was extending into Gilbert, we reached out to them as well. So, we want to make sure that we're aware of all the facts so that we can handle these cases appropriately and stop this violence.
It's really crazy. Let me ask you this, and I heard something this recently, and for me it relates back to what happened yesterday in Iowa, the school shooting. It was a 17-year-old shooter, a minor with a gun, and I understand the number of minors with weapons here in Arizona is increasing considerably.
Absolutely. I saw some stats recently from the Superior Court, and what it tells us that statewide, if you compare 2022, because those were the last year we had stats, to 2017, the number of gun-related crimes in pretty much every category that I looked at, including possession, including murder, ag assault, has increased by 5 times. And it's just amazing how bad it's gotten.
I'm sorry. So the number of crimes that minors are committing with weapons has increased. It's 5 times more than it was when? How long
2017.
ago? Really?
Yes.
And do we have any idea why that's happening? Is it just a proliferation of guns, or what's happening?
Well, I mean, they're getting the guns through, a lot of times car burglaries. They're shifting them around from person to person. There's all manner of ways that they get a hold of them. But whether COVID played a role in that, in affecting people's ability to deal with other people, I don't know. But even minors in possession, we're seeing just this dramatic increase. And of course, it's not a good situation at all.
No, minors are stupid. No, I say that in jest. We always tell our kids they're in college now, but we always told them in high school that your brains aren't really developed yet, and they do stupid things. That's not. We don't want those kids wandering the streets with guns. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: if you get a minor in possession of a gun and it turns out it's mom or dad's gun that mom and dad had legally, but now this kid's walking around with it because mom and dad didn't secure it or do whatever they needed to do, are there charges ever brought against the parents?
We have to look at each situation. I mean, obviously it's going to depend on whether mom and dad knew and that type of thing. But I'll tell you, there is a situation with the law that we've asked the legislature to take a look at. And that is, while minors can have guns if it's for sporting, hunting, they can also have guns in their own home. And what's interesting about the law is it doesn't say as long as the parents consent. And so we've actually, the police really have had a number of calls from parents saying, can you do something? My kid has a gun. But in the home, that's not a crime. And so we've asked the legislature to take a look at that statute and fix it.
Can the kids legally own a handgun?
They can legally possess a handgun in their own residence.
Even if the parents don't feel comfortable saying you can't have a gun here?
Right.
Wow.
That's not required by the statute, and so we have to get that fixed.
I'm obviously a much tougher dad than some people because there's no chance my kids were going to have their own guns in my house.
I can tell you that my parents would not have needed to call the police.
No, that's incredible to me. So we have to have a law that we're going to talk to the legislature about putting a law in place to handle that.
Yes, to fix that situation.
Interesting. Rachel Mitchell is with us. She's the county attorney in Maricopa County here on KTAR. So let me ask you this: we talk a lot about this organized retail theft, and I saw on Twitter the other day, I love this. It was these 3 women who had apparently robbed a Marshall's in the past, where they go in and just fill these huge shopping carts, just fill it with merchandise, with clothes and whatever they want, and then just roll the shopping carts out without paying for it. And they went back to the same store. And the asset protection people, the security people at the store recognized them, called Phoenix Police, and Phoenix Police were outside waiting for them when they walked out of the store stealing this merchandise again.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, I do too. They rolled up just as they were rolling out.
So what kind of charges are brought against somebody like that? So this isn't somebody stealing a pack of gum. I mean, this is thousands of dollars worth of stuff. Is it shoplifting? Is it something else? What are they charged with?
Well, it's organized retail theft is the charge. It is a felony. And what's interesting about this is I've heard this false narrative that these people are just, taking things to survive. They're not taking bread and they're not taking milk. They are taking massive quantities of things that they can resell. And while, I have to say everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, this wasn't the first rodeo for one of these people. And in fact, what we're seeing is people going out across the country and being paid to commit these acts of retail theft.
Really?
And, give the materials that they take back to this original person. In fact, the feds just arrested somebody in California for being that kind of central person.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Was that the pastor I saw who had?
I don't remember if it was a pastor, but
there was one I saw was a pastor who had kids in the church would go out and steal stuff and bring it back to him, and he was the fence. It was incredible. It was a whole organized thing.
Like
it was incredible.
Oliver Twist. 2024.
It was so odd to me. Rachel Mitchell is here, the county attorney. Thanks for taking a few minutes for us today. I appreciate that. Happy New Year.
Absolutely. Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. And of course they can go to. You have a website if they want to learn more about what's happening at the county attorney's office.
Sure. If they want to put in Maricopa County Attorney's office, it'll come up. And they can see our press releases and find out about our office. All
right, there you have it. Rachel Mitchell is with us. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for watching the Mike Broomhead Show. Tap to watch the first season of Amazing Arizonans, a KTAR News podcast. You can also click the button in the middle to subscribe.